Here's what I say about the salary. First of all, I think, and let me say this into the camera, I think that pastors and staff members should be very, very well compensated. And sadly, over the years, Preston, we have paid people what they need, not what they're worth.
Right.
And one of the cool things about this environment, and I'm seeing this in churches now all over everywhere, is that we've tried to compensate people generously. And because of that, we've had a strong consistency in our vision, in our purpose. So when someone asks me the question about how much I make, first of all, that's a private matter. That's a church matter. And we keep all of that confidential.
When you talk about me being a part of the corporate world,
Yeah.
you'd never ask.
Exactly.
That's a bad thing if you know what people make. So, yeah.
However, when they ask me, I say, I'm paid well, and we have an independent salary survey. In fact, our salary survey is about this thick, just for my compensation. We have a board of directors that set my compensation along with the independent salary committee. I have nothing to do with any of that. And then also, too, along that realm, our staff, we benchmark what we pay our staff with other people in churches this size, and then also in the business world. So that's pretty much how we handle compensation. So we are well paid, but me personally, I am under what the kind of benchmarks are at this point for a church our size. But if I was over it, who cares?
Right.
Because it's not what you make, Preston. I repeat, it's not what you make. You know what it is? It's what you give. And that's what we should be about. It's what you give. And I want to put the money in the people's hands who are going to bless others with it.
Right.
Because for far too long, and this mentality is still out there, people say, churches say, Lord, you keep him humble and we'll keep him poor.
That's right.
Now, where is that in the Bible? All right, some people say there's a camp, as you know, in Christianity that says poverty is next to godliness. There's another camp that says wealth is next to godliness. I don't think either are biblical. I think somewhere in the middle is the deal. And if I'm going to err, if I'm going to talk to leaders and pastors like I do about this, like I've written about, I'm going to err toward generosity. I am saying, though, that we should take care of people and that God blesses people. Because if God does not bless people who are going to bless his house and build his house, then we're not going to be able to push the ball down the field.
Right.
So
That's right.
if God's going to build his church, and of course the Bible says that, Jesus says, I will build my church, I will do it. How's he going to do it? Well, one of the ways is he's going to resource people, and these people are going to hold very loosely the things of the world. So I want to be, Preston, known as a Teflon person, not a Velcro person. I don't want things to stick to me.
Right.
I want things to flow from me to the church. And as I've told the church over and over, I mean, our biggest investment, my biggest investment is Fellowship Church. Financially, for 20 years, it's been that way. It's not my house. It's not a condo that I have. It's not any real estate. It's not any company. It is right here at Fellowship Church. And I think once people get a hold of that, a grasp of that, then things will change. But for some reason, though, it's like if you're blessed and a Christian leader, like you're doing something wrong.
Right.
It's hilarious because I have the opportunity to know a number of Christian leaders, and they're blessed and they bless others. So I think it's great. So the deal is, do you have money, or does money have you?
That's true.
That's the deal. So I don't think we should share our compensation. I think that's a mistake. I think if we do, if you say, okay, here's what everybody makes on the church staff or whatever, I mean, you got competition, you've got the hurt feelings. Because if I'll use myself for example. If I said, okay, here's what I make, some people will go, wow, that's a lot. Others would go, that's it? So
different perspective.
I mean, yeah, man, you gotta just, again, you gotta do what you do. But you must have, I encourage pastors and staff members, you must have accountability. At Fellowship Church, we have a board that helps us in all of those realms, and also we have an independent salary committee that helps us set all of these, and especially with mine, they have this big, thick thing they go through. So once you do that, I think it's cool.
I think one of the things that you pastors need to know, and I think this is, and Ed wouldn't tell you this, but I think one of the great things that you've done over the years is you talk about that stuff regularly in messages or when you're talking with pastors. It's not, you don't just say that when something bad happens.
No, I try to talk about it.
You talk about it all the time,
yeah.
and I think that's great because the people, our congregation, they know that. They've heard you say that. You're not hiding behind anything. You're very open about your finances and about how you and Lisa, the church is the number one thing. And
you
that's
Preston,
awesome.
too, you know, my brother told me one time, this is so true. And whenever you talk about money, people get funny, as you know.
Yes.
And when it comes to anyone's salary or what anybody has, I heard my brother say this. This is a brilliant thing. He said, he goes, materialism begins where your income ends.
That's
And that's so true.
That's great.
And that's so
exactly
true.
right.
Because so much of this subject that people deal with is going to be about envy and jealousy, et cetera.
That's right. That's all. It's
Yeah.
pride.
It is.